So for your camera or for the phone? Oh, good. Good. Hi, thanks for being here.
between the camera and the podium? That's the podium. Behind the podium.
Behind the podium. But we're supposed to be what? Part of it?
Well, no, just the whole thing.
Oh. That would be
Y'all got to come all the way up. There's no back row backies today. Come on now. Come on now. This side of the camera, because I can't yell into this wind. I can, but
We don't want to block the view, Val.
oh, that's okay. I want a lot of people in this camera. Come on now. Okay,
Yeah, the way we sort of circle around here. One side.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning. Can you hear me? What a great day to be in Williamson County. Woo! I can't tell you how thankful I am to be here today to ribbon cut this wonderful project that has been going on for decades, perhaps even. We are glad to have you here today to join us in this really fun day. And I'm thankful for the rain that we've had, and I'm thankful for the sunshine today, and even a little cooler weather. So it's supposed to be October, right? Cool weather. I'm just glad to have to use my sunglasses today. I wanna start off by thanking some folks, and then we're gonna have a few speakers come up and tell something from their perspective on how this project works. But I want to say thank you to Commissioner Berkman. Lisa Berkman, Precinct 1 Commissioner, is here with us today. And what you may not remember is that this most of this area was in Precinct 1 until 2010 when we redistricted. And so that means that Commissioner Berkman and I were working on this project, and I've been in office for almost 9 years now. Before that, Commissioner before that, Tal McDaniel, was working on this project along with Commissioner Berkman. And I know that if I got Richard up here, Richard Ridings could tell us decades before that it was a thought. It was a concept that we had, that others had, that it needed to be done, but how do we get it done? And so projects like this don't happen overnight, obviously. We had a lot of interesting discussions with Fish and Wildlife and with Federal Highways and a lot of interesting meetings, but we finally were able to get our approval and move forward. Also, on this project, nothing happens like this without a great team. And I want to introduce a few folks that were part of that team. Obviously, HNTB was a great part, not only as our project manager of our bond program, but also they designed this project. Richard, hold your hand up. I appreciate that. Carlos wore a couple of hats during this project because he worked at TxDOT as our district engineer, and so we had a lot of interesting and fun times with that. If you work for HNTB, would you raise your hand, please? I wanted y'all to look around and appreciate these guys. I know one guy that wishes I didn't have his cell phone. It's James Klotz. And James, I appreciate all the work that you've done. Kristen, where are you? Kristen Ishberger, I appreciate you and all the efforts. I see Pete back there representing Precinct 4. Pete, thank you for being here. Tell Commissioner Morrison hello. I also want to thank HDR. Joe Crable, are you here? And Ms. Vasquez, are you here? Okay, back there. HDR did our review of the project, and they were out here making sure things were working right. Of course, our great contractors, Hunter. If you're with Hunter, would you raise your hand? Charlie, right here. I know. Charlie and Gary Tackard, but also Johnny Wiseman, owner. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for all your work. It's been an interesting 2.5 years since we stood right down this road and broke ground on this project. A lot of things have happened since then, but of course, it's all good now that it's done. We had a couple of complicated things, like a really large cave on the other side. I don't know if you know about that. It's called Interspace Caverns. It extends quite a distance. We also have a railroad track, as you can see right behind us. That was fun to deal with. But we also have a much greater need, and that was to get traffic off of 35 when it shuts down and not have to go the Innerloop or not have to go through town. Especially as Georgetown has increased in size so much, that just was not the best approach. And so this project actually started, interestingly enough, with some discussions, not just about a frontage road, but also about changing some ramps and the directions of those ramps. But in looking at that, just the extent of that, we needed much more. We needed a frontage road that went all the way to the end of the frontage road at 29, and we needed to take the curl out of Leander Road, and we needed to have a safer and better way for transportation. And we have that in this frontage road. I want to thank also some folks like the hospital, and Hugh Brown's going to come up in a few minutes, but the hospital has been a partner with us. One of the thoughts and goals was to connect this roadway with the hospital in a driveway scenario, and we worked a lot with TxDOT to get driveway permits, and Georgetown to get driveway permits along this path to be able to put in a turnaround that would then directly connect to the hospital. And Hugh's going to come and talk in a few minutes. I appreciate all of you being here. This project, as costly as it is, $20 million, was a unique funding source. And we've had several of these type projects in Williamson County, which has allowed us to build roads like the second phase of Williams Drive, 79, 183, and the turnaround at 29. And that is pass-through funding. And I want to introduce Greg Melodic. Greg, would you come up, please? He's our district engineer at TxDOT. And Greg, you've done a great job of partnering with us, and I appreciate that. Come and speak a few minutes, please. Woo.
Thank you, Commissioner. I guess Commissioner Purcell, so please give a big round of applause for Commissioner Povey. She has my cell phone number too. This is one of those things to where a week ago we actually did a groundbreaking in Georgetown for 1431. So this project, just like that project, is where we have local participation. In this case, it's called pass-through. And so on this particular project, which was $20 million, what happens is for Williamson County, they looked at it and they said, you know, from TxDOT's funding schedule, it looked like it was going to be several years, if not decades, before we were ever going to get up here and do a project. So Williamson County came in and said, you know, what can we do to make this happen? So by the county putting up the funds and building the project, what happens is once traffic gets on it, there's traffic counts and then there's a payback. The great thing about Williamson County and Georgetown is we know the traffic is there. When it opens up, the payback will be pretty quick. Yeah, so it's one of those things to where it's it's an investment that Williamson County chose to make. It's something to where it's only going to improve and make, as Commissioner said, the area safer. It's one of those things to where, again, not for all the counties that fall under our district, we don't have Williamson County is our most aggressive county as far as seeing projects and putting up local funds and seeking that improvements and for living in this county. Again, my hat's off to them, and for every citizen in Williamson County. Again, it's just a really, really good deal. I think the other thing, as the district engineer, probably one of those things as an engineer, you look at some challenges, and Commissioner Covey mentioned a bunch of them. Another one is the railroad, and hopefully nobody hears from the railroad, but again, it's always a lot of fun working with them. But when you see a railroad, and that's what we were kind of talking about, is why did we skip the frontage road? Well, I bet a lot of it had to do with the railroad. But from the design part of it and even the building part of it, that's always an issue and a challenge you've got out there. So, and H&TB did a great job as far as getting this project together and managing the project. The other thing, and more of on a personal nature to me, is having Hunter Industries work on this. I've worked pretty much my whole career with Hunter Industries, and a lot of that was on IH-35. Mr. Wiseman is a mentor of mine. It's one of those things to where I have a solid relationship. You sometimes think TxDOT and our contractors, we might be at odds sometimes. That was never the case with Hunter Industries. It was one of those things to where their philosophy and business model is to get in there and get the job done and get out as quick as possible. So, and build a quality project. So when I found out Hunter had the project, I was a lot calmer and knew we were in good hands. So again, just a great day. Appreciate Williamson County and what they did and everything, and look to getting traffic and compliments from everybody, and then working with the county on other projects. So thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Greg. I want to introduce another person that just walked up, Bob Day, who is our infrastructure director, but also he was one of the TxDOT district engineers. And this project's gone on so long, as you can tell, we've had multiple TxDOT district engineers. But Bob, thank you for all on both sides of the project, actually. Next, I want to have the mayor of Georgetown come up and speak, because obviously this project is in Georgetown. It has a great impact on the city. And Mayor, would you come up? Mayor Dale Ross, please.
Great day to be in Williamson County in Georgetown, Texas. Val, thanks for the invitation today. Very brief. My speech will be shorter than yours today. I'm here today to convey a message to Williamson County from all the citizens in Georgetown. Our sincere thanks to Williamson County for the funding and managing this important mobility project. Adding this northbound frontage road fills in a critical piece of our transportation and mobility network. I expect to see improved mobility for motorists in Georgetown. Since the turnaround bridge right down the road at Leander Road, you won't have people sitting there all day. In addition, the project opens up new areas of economic development, not only for the city of Georgetown, but for Williamson County. And it also ought to improve mobility on a day-to-day basis. And if we have a major accident on 35, instead of routing people down through Austin Avenue, we can keep them on the frontage road. I want to thank Judge Gaddis, Commissioner Berkman, Commissioner Long, Commissioner Morrison, and a special thanks to my favorite Precinct 3 Commissioner, Valerie Covey, and she's my commissioner, and also Bob Day, who's infrastructure director, and without their tireless efforts, we probably wouldn't be here today. In the near future, we look forward to working with the county on a major transportation and mobility project, the Southwest Bypass, and I'm sure that'll be a lot of fun as well. But without challenge, to do good work, there are challenges along the way, and all the folks that are in this audience and all the elected officials overcame those challenges to make today a reality. And again, Val, thanks for the invitation today.
60 seconds.
Great job, Mayor. The mayor mentioned a project that we have upcoming, and as you understand, this frontage road is just a piece of a larger transportation project and effort on the south side of Georgetown. We will be working on putting continuing the bypass, if you will, and connecting 29 to Leander Road, and then coming around through the quarry to connect right here at the Innerloop. And we look forward to that, but the frontage road project obviously is an integral part of that, and we needed to get it finished first so that it would all work. I also want to have the head of St. David's Georgetown Hospital, Hugh Brown, come up and say a few words. Hugh, I know we've been working a long time on this project together, so please say a few words.
Thank you very much, Val. Well, it's certainly an honor and a privilege to be invited to address you as this ribbon cutting. I was remembering back to February 2007 when I first arrived in Georgetown to take over the role as CEO of St. David's Georgetown Hospital, and I did my first 2 weeks of surveillance. I talked to the doctors, I talked to the staff, I talked to the community, talked to EMS, trying to get everybody's feel about how we could make things better. And one of the most common themes that I heard was, it is a great location for a hospital, but awfully hard to get to. In fact, many people use the term that it was dangerous to get to the hospital because of the little loop-de-loop to go northbound and to bring the ambulances in. So it didn't take me very long to identify that the person I needed to be talking to, the relationship that I needed to have, was with Commissioner Covey. So we sat down in her office literally within a month of my arrival, and I went thinking I was going to be begging for something that would be impossible, and instead she reached around behind her desk and rolled out a set of plans and said, "Hugh, we got you covered. We have a plan for this, because this is a road that, while it improves our mobility on a day-to-day basis, from my perspective, from the perspective of the hospital in Georgetown, it actually is going to save lives. Time is life. Time is important when you're dealing with strokes and heart attacks and things like that. And the convoluted way that ambulances had to get onto our campus, the stoplights, the traffic they had to go through, was frankly, from my perspective, just not acceptable. And fortunately, I found out that the progressive thinkers in Williamson County and the city of Georgetown had already come up with that plan. And so it's been many years in the process. We do look forward to getting the north side U-turn on Leander Road, and as Val alluded to before, we have committed a significant amount of money from the hospital's perspective, and thanks to the easements that were given by TxDOT to allow us to have a connection. But we hope sometime in the first quarter of next year to create a driveway, basically a two-lane road, so you'll be able to come southbound on I-35, exit off, do the loop around, and then there'll still be enough room to come over and directly access the hospital campus. Certainly that will be a great thing for those of us who live north and have to do that commute, but most importantly, it should shave a couple of minutes off of ambulance runs that are coming to the hospital. So it is not an overstatement to say that this is an important project, and it's going to be an important project because people in Williamson County, lives will be saved as a result of that. So I appreciate the vision. Commissioner Covey has become my sort of role model for the strong Texas leader woman, and so I now measure everyone against her. She was the first one that I met when I came to town, and it has been a great ride. I have really appreciated the relationship that we've developed over the years. So congratulations to all of y'all for doing it, and on behalf of the people of Georgetown and the patients, the future patients of Georgetown, thank you for saving their lives.
Thank you, Hugh, and thank you, Mayor and Greg. Appreciate all of you. Let's go cut a ribbon and open this sucker up. Okay, you got some really sharp scissors, I see. Those are real. And I want everyone that doesn't have a camera in the picture. If you don't have a camera, you're in the picture. Don't stand in front of us. Pull it over to your side. Oh, yeah, sorry.
Oh, everything's all right.
Yeah, sorry about that.
We could go behind that.
Bob's gonna figure it out.
I was like, we could.
There's a lot of room back there. Take on back. That's kind of funny. Back on that. Yeah, y'all might want to. Okay, now guys, y'all have to come up to the ribbon.
And we're gonna stand for just a while because there are a lot of cameras.
Yeah, we're gonna do some. Come on up here, Greg. Greg, you got to be up here with me. Y'all can hold on to the scissors together. Just don't put your fingers in between. Okay, we're gonna take some pics here, and then everybody act like you like each other. Come on,
Sideways.
come on.
See. Okay. Got that one. A second. I think so. All right, are we all having pictures?
Ready?
1, 2, 3. Woo!
All right. Really good. Thank you very much. They are not.
Usually they like off.
Serious.
They were cutting up there for 5 minutes.
Kathy, I'm gonna give these back. What are you doing? Oh, yeah, you already got it out. That's really great. You got to send that to us, okay? Okay. How you doing, Joyce? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Hey, girl. How are you? Yeah? Good. Well, they were out there covering the Sally last week. And, yeah, you were. This is a little easier to get to. Hey, y'all don't forget there's donuts over here and orange juice. Don't leave them all for me because I don't have any boys at home anymore and I'll leave too many. What is this? Wait, you got a little. I was thinking